A scene. Primus. I believe you have already been told my name, but if you need reminding, it is Marcus Attilius Primus. You have already received instruction from Faustus about how to construct this water feature, but if you have any questions about this, now would be an opportune time to ask, as I was the one who oversaw its design. Tyro. I sat down with the drawing, sir, and I worked out in my mind all the necessary steps. How I would work the stone, implement the angles, but yet there was one small detail that occurred to me. I feel, sir, we don't have enough sand here for the mortar and all. So with your permission, I was going to go to the store and bring one more basket's worth. Primus. Yes, of course, it was Faustus who told the boys what to bring over last night, so it was his omission. If there's not enough sand, I will go and sit over by the pond while you go and get the basket from the storeroom. I have a few matters of the heart to attend to anyway. Of course. Exunt Tyro. Primus. I cherish this time now alone, so that I can make due utterance to the dance within my heart. You know, O gods, the passions that have run through my heart these last 3 years. 3 years and 3 women and 1 man, ironically called Eros, have rolled, danced and fought with me these last 3 years, and so now the matter has been settled. And I am with my true heart. I want to dedicate the water feature to the god Eros and his mother Venus, and so state in stone for times to come my deep pledge to love Penelope, which in life and spirit will always be greater than that untrustworthy human named Eros. We had agreements, and he broke them. I offered, and he took. I walked towards him, and he walked away, and so I will teach him about life with this dedication. And you, O gods, do with me and him as you see fit. Watch over us as I believe you do. Watching over us as I believe you do. The thing that most aggrieves me is the chain of events that led to me of necessity giving him a firm slap with my ungloved hand. I could not forgive him for that, for I had not felt the need to do that since I was a mere youth, and I had long felt such things were behind me. I had told him, and I had done it firmly, that he could have Penelope for 3 nights, and no more, and that he must treat her fairly. That was part of the exchange. I had some beautiful experiences with some of his mistresses. He had long had his eye on Penelope. At that stage in our relationship, I was allowing that sort of thing with certain individuals, and he, I thought, was a good friend. He could be one of them. The look on her face, though, that night when she ran back to my quarters, that night half dishevelled, distraught, full of fear, trembling, and all sorts of strange fluids upon her, red, yellow, brown, about her person. It was disgusting. He defiled the very name he wears with such behaviour, and so all will see what he and others need to learn about love. The water here will spiral down the staircase, which will be a beautiful fitting symbol for the flow of erotic love into life, the channeling of love into our being, into our somatic bodily vehicle, and so will swirl the water around the stone spirals until finally move to the breast of Eros, and he'll know what I mean by this. Eros will be there, the child god. In this water feature, he will be carved half boy, half bird, with a bow and arrow by his side. I had thought about potentially getting the bow and arrow more sort of out of the relief and just moving in the air, but of course it was too brittle, so it will be the relief. That's fine. The water flows down into the sacred ground below. where beautiful flowers and plants will grow. So the water will come from above, but of course we know ultimately the water comes from below, from the earth, from the great earth, with the blessings of the god. I was not persuasive when Eros tried to please his case with me, not persuaded one iota. He could have gone on like that for eons and I would not have been moved. He was spouting all sorts of tripe about misunderstandings, about how other lovers had jealousy and they had started it. It all gone out a bit of control. He tried to restrain them, but they ended up in some sort of cat fight, the women, and it was just all a mess. I felt to myself, well, if he was cavorting with women who would do that, then he must have been part of it, and I could tell by his eyes that he was not innocent by any means. And so I must, in a way, tell the world a little bit about who and what he is, but in a very poetic and discreet way. I'm not one to hold a grudge, but I am one to hold to the eternal wisdom of life. At least now at this age I feel I can say that and stand on true ground. Hang on a minute here, what Tyro is returning. Tyro enters with one basket of sand. Sir, all the sand is here now, but I must say something seems strange about the air. Primus. What means thou? Tyro. It is hard to say. It's the birds, mostly. You know, they've become strangely silent. Have you not noticed that there's a sort of eeriness in the air and they're absent? And this time of day, sir, they'd usually be chirping away quite happily. Another thing I heard, a horse, sir, he made the strangest sound I have ever heard a horse make. It was like not a horse, it was like something else. Primus. How could a horse make a sound unlike a horse's sound? It doesn't make any sense. Horses neigh, they canter about the place, they make horse sounds. What are you talking about? Tyro. It was just a thought, sir, just like I felt I needed to mention it, because it just seemed like something important. But anyway, sir, the epitaph, sir, can I have it? Because I need to know what the words are so I can eventually, when all of this is completed, begin to write it down. But I'll get on with the carving, sir. It will only take me and the lads a couple of days' work. It will all be done. Job's done. Bob's your uncle. Or in your case, probably Maximus, or I don't know. So I'm losing my plot here. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, sir. I do apologize. Primus. Yes, that's a very strange thing. I didn't appreciate that. But anyway, I've got good sense that you're a firm and strong labourer, and I've got good recommendations about you and your men from Faustus. So let's just move on with the work soon. But anyway, you have distracted me a bit with your talk and what sounded like omens of some sort. So I'm going to take a walk up to the incline up ahead and see if I can see anything strange is going on. And then when I come back, well, actually, you know, you can just begin your groundworks and everything like that. Just begin the work, Tyro, and I'll come back and oversee a little bit. Tyro. Of course, sir. I'll be here waiting for you presently. Primus walks off. He is now alone. Primus. So I walk off into the farness of the near sky. And I notice that what seems far may also be near. My epitaph sits in my heart, waiting to be released to the world. Yet the further I walk up here, the more I too begin to sense that something is moving against us. I cannot see anything yet, but my legs have a slight jelliness to them, as if fear itself is spreading through the air. Yet I do not feel like I am being called to a battle. It's not that. It's not a battle. It's something else. It's not that. More like a wave. A hark. I see people running and they are running towards me. What shall I do? What shall I do? My mind quickly tells me what must be happening. I know this land. I know where I live. He has awoken our great mountain and his ire runs down upon us. Shall I fall to the ground? Recite my epitaph to the dry earth? Shall I run frantically to see if my love, Penelope, may embrace me one last time? Shall I? I wonder what she is doing. Does she know yet? What is it about to engulf her that I want to go to her yet? I want to recite my epitaph. I haven't even done this yet. What's happening? This is supposed to be my offering to the world in all time. Is there time to do both? The people are running, they're running. I can see them, they're far off, but they do seem distraught. Their arms are in the air. They're still alive, and I can maybe are still a good length from me. Here, I will ground my iron feet to the ground. I will ground my fine iron feet to the ground, and then I'll fall to my knees, and I will say I'll say my epitaph. Primus falls to the ground and utters his words. He who thinks love is outside of himself will always be lost. I have said it now. Now I must run. Perhaps I can still embrace my love Penelope one last time. Tyro, pray, sing, dance, or cry, for the gods they are speaking.